Hi, my name is Julianne, and today I'm doing my Reading Rush wrap-up for 2019. I already recorded the beginning of this video, but it has mysteriously disappeared, so luckily the part where I talk about the books that I read is still there. It's just me doing the thumbnail and introducing the video and talking a little bit about the Reading Rush itself. It just gone. So I'm just gonna rush I'm just gonna rush through that real quick and then jump into what I had filmed before. So I'm in a different outfit, better lighting. I'm using a microphone instead of the camera itself. The Reading Rush was really fun. I enjoyed it this year. I participated in a few challenges, so I'll leave the links to that down below. And that's pretty much it from the beginning part that I talked about. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video and thank you for watching. I did end up reading 6 books this week, which is a huge improvement from last year. I don't really remember how many books I read, but it was probably maybe 4, so it felt good to get 6. I was really aiming for that 7th book, but I just did not have time to even start it. But I did read 6 books in 1 week, which is awesome. It's been a while, because I'm reading like 4 to 5 books a month, so it just felt good to read like that amount in a week. But my focus was primarily on reading and not on the challenges, so I didn't really put as much effort into them, even though I wanted to put out a video every day. I just didn't have time, and it's fine, I guess. I'm kind of sad about it, but I couldn't. So that was unfortunate for me. I wanted to put a video out every day, and I wanted to read every day, and then I wanted to do challenges every day, but it's just like, how can you do all of that stuff and like still live like a normal-ish life and not be secluded from everyone? Because the only way to, actually get all of that done, I feel like, would be to completely cut yourself off from everyone. Don't go to work, don't do anything except for this, and it was just not a realistic thing to do. But I did participate in one of the Instagram challenges, and this was the photo. I really like it. I think it looks really good. It's for match your clothes to a book, and I decided to kind of mirror, I get it because I'm in a mirror. Okay, if you didn't know, that's a picture of me in the mirror. But I was mirroring my first picture on Instagram that I ever did, which I guess I'll throw up there too. I'm just going to move on to the whole wrap-up. So these are the books that I read. These are the 6 books that I managed to get to. First up, that I mentioned on my channel on like the first day, was The Library of Fates by Aditi Corona. This is like Indian fantasy. So it follows a main character whose name I've already forgotten. In my defense, it's been a week, so of course I'm not going to remember due to the fact that I had 5 other books that I read right after, so. Amrita is the main character. Oh yeah, so this person, the Emperor, I literally was pronounced as Scamander, like Newt Scamander. I knew that's probably not how you pronounce his name, but every time I saw his name, that's what my brain said. But I think it's Sikander, or something closer to that. You have this main girl, she's a princess, she's basically a princess, and her dad is like, I don't remember what the word they used for it was, but it's basically like a lord, or a noble. So like they have their one little like section, and then you have the emperor who's like controls everything, and then you have your like little section. So her family control this one section. But stuff happens that forces her to flee her home, and she has to figure out a way to stop the emperor. This book went to places I did not expect. I'm not 100% sure I like it, but I don't hate it. I'm just kind of like, okay. Like, I'm not trying to diss on the book because I actually really enjoyed it. It's just like the ending itself, you just are like, okay, we're going here. Okay, that's happening. It definitely took a turn I wasn't really expecting, and I'm still not 100% sure about the way it ended, but I do think overall it's a good book, and I would recommend it. Just know that the ending takes a sharp turn. You're like, okay, not what I expected. The next book that I read was The Witch Doesn't Burn, and this one by Amanda Lovelace. I love this book. I really like Amanda Lovelace. I have a feeling like she's definitely not for everyone. Some of her poems are more political, or like falls more into like feminist type stuff, so like I feel like not everyone's gonna enjoy it that much. But for me personally, I really liked it. I really connected to it. Some poems I connected more than others, obviously, but overall I really like her poems. I like the first book too. I also really like this edition because it's this, and then underneath it's just really pretty as well. It was overall a really good read. And then that same day I started Genesis by Brendan Reichs, and then I finished it that Wednesday, so like the next day. This, I think, is my favorite book of all of the books that I read that week. I don't know what it is about this series, but I love it so much. It's basically, like, this book is Gone series meets the 100. Guys, it's crack. I haven't felt this way since freaking Gone series, and I'm so happy to have that feeling back. And I know that that guy, Michael Grant, he's continuing the Gone series, but I haven't had the chance to read the rest of the series. But this book, oh my god, it just... Guys, this series is amazing. It's so weird. I was looking up reviews on the first book just to like refresh my memory of like what happened in the first one, because it had been like over a year or so. There's so many like 1 star, 2 stars. Like, I was like, what is happening? Like, no one liked the first book. I don't remember the overall stars that the book has, but like just going through just to get a couple like good reviews, like, 5 stars. Oh, hey, it was so cool. These are the character names, like, there's so many negative reviews, and I'm like, but Nemesis is amazing. I don't understand what's wrong with people over here, but okay, just me. I honestly love this series. It's a wild ride. I read this book so freaking fast. This book is so good. I don't even know how you describe it, because I want to talk about the second book itself, but like, I can't because spoilers. But basically, okay, so in the first book, you have this main character. Well, it's a dual point of view. I didn't realize that at first, so all of a sudden you flash over to Noah, and I'm like, how are we here? But it's a dual point of view between Min and Noah. Basically, Min, every 2 years on her birthday, a man shows up and murders her, and then she wakes up totally fine in a clearing, and it's just like, no one believes her, no one believes that someone is killing her, and then she just wakes up fine, because there's no marks or anything, so no one believes what's going on, and she just feels like she's going crazy, but she knows every 2 years this guy is going to show up and murder her. And so the question is, who is this guy? Why is he doing it? And the answer is batshit insane. You will not see it coming. I loved it. I love it. I love this series. I just, it's just, it was great. I need Chrysalis right now. Like, seriously, I'm freaking out. Honestly, though, I do feel like this is a good way to end the series, but, like, I also want more, so excited. Also, this author wrote this one, well, co-wrote the Viral series, which I never finished, but I do want to finish at some point, which... That series is basically sci-fi werewolves. That's the best way to describe it. And I love that series, because it's a wild ride. And this is just so good. I love it. After that, I read Sky in the Deep. The way I learned about this was that it was like Norse mythology, but I don't know if it is. I don't know what this is. But basically there's this girl, I actually wrote a poem about it. It's in the 3rd video that I did, the 3rd challenge. Not the 3rd challenge, it was for the 5th day, but it was the 3rd video I did. And I did so I did write a poem about it. Every 5 years, her and her, like, tribe or clan fight another clan. In one of the fights, her brother dies, and so 5 years later, she's back she's fighting again, and she sees her brother. And the question is her brother actually alive? Is he some sort of spirit? What's going on? And so she chases off to, like, find him, and chaos ensues. And that's where I'll leave it. I don't really want to spoil too much. I hope it sounds good. But it's a lot of fighting, badass. Like, this is, like, what I would consider, and I don't want to use this word because I know it will trigger people, but it's the best word I can think of. It's, like, casually feminist. Like, it's not like, it's not in your face. It's more like women and men fight together and no one says anything. And it's just the way things are, and it's fine. There's this trope of the strong female who's just basically a strong male, as in Mary Sue and a Gary Sue. Like, they're just all they know is fighting and they don't have anything else under the surface, but you're trying to be like, oh, they're badass, so it's feminist, but that's not really, because you're just saying they're strong, but you're not saying they're an actual person, you know? So here it's like, she's an actual person, she can fight, but she also has feelings, you know, like, so that's what I really liked, was that it was like, you know, the women and the men fight side by side and no one says anything. It just feels equal, is what I'm trying to get at. It's like the society is equal in my mind, at least on the aspect of gender. And then I also really liked how the men were in the book too, is like, they're also badass, but they also have feelings, and I'm like, oh, this is refreshing, because like sometimes it's just so focused on macho men type characters, and, like the bad boy, but like here it's like, oh, and something I realized, I don't think anyone mentions their abs. Such a refreshing thing for once. Oh god. But like here it's like the men are affectionate. Like they hug, they kiss, you know, and it's in a platonic way. And it's refreshing because like you don't have to be romantic with someone to like be affectionate with them, and it's very important, I think, showing it between men. Like men can have feelings, you know, and so that's what I really like. That's why I'm saying it's casually feminist, in the fact that it's not like screaming at you, like saying, or like not screaming, but like trying to get brownie points, because sometimes stories do that, where you're like Riverdale, where you'll say something that to make it sound like you're woke, but you're not. You're just like trying to get brownie points. Here it's just casual. This is the way society is, and like that's it. And I don't know if that's the best way to explain it, but I just feel like it's just like, hey, everyone's equal, we're affectionate, we care about each other, we have feelings, but we're also badass and we will kill you. So it's fun. I think it's fun. I liked it. I like the society and everything like that, and I would like to see more books that follow like this. I'm still not sure how I feel about the romance, but by the end I was kind of here for it, so I'm not like trying to drag it down or anything. I'm just saying that my feelings are a bit mixed, because it felt kinda insta-romancy, but at the same time I was kinda here for it. Enemies to lovers trope is the best trope. After that, I have a graphic novel that I read, which is Wires and Nerves Volume 2. This is the second book, obviously Volume 2. It's the second book to the first book, which was, I don't remember the name, but I think it was maybe just Wires and Nerves. It's the spin-off to the Lunar Chronicles, which is amazing. This just kind of like shows you what's happening after Lunar Chronicles, and I really enjoyed it. I don't really remember what happened in the first book, like at all, except for maybe a vague remembrance of the ending, and like maybe a couple plot points. From reading this, it kind of jogged my memory slightly, but overall all I remember from the first book is that I loved it, and I can't even remember what happened in it. But I really enjoyed the first book. Don't know what happened there, but this book I really enjoyed, and I do remember what happened, so that's cool. Finally, I know what's going on in this series. If you like the Lunar Chronicles, I recommend it. It's cool. I like the book. I like the art style. Some of the people looked slightly similar, so it was like a little confusing at times, but overall, I got it. Like I figured out who was who, so I wasn't too confused. It was probably maybe a couple of panels where I'm like, who is that? Who's talking? The book after that I read was Murder on the Orient Express. This was for the read the book and then watch the movie adaptation. The problem is I never got to watch the movie, so I didn't really get the badge for it, unfortunately. But I did read the book, and I am planning on watching the movie at some point. I did like this book. I enjoyed it. So when I was reading it, I was like, who could be the murderer, you know? And reading this book, I don't want to spoil it, so I won't talk about the story, but if you watch BuzzFeed Unsolved, there's a story that kind of reminds me of this book. So if you watch that and you read this book, you might know which story I'm talking about, but there's like a real life story that literally reminds me of what happens in this, or at least what the ending is. The ending of this book reminds me of like the story from BuzzFeed Unsolved. So basically, if you don't know, there's a murder on a train and the detective is trying to solve it, and that's all you need to know. I enjoyed it. I liked it. Overall, Murder on the Orient Express. Excellent read. Great mystery. Loved the ending. And yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Let me know what you guys read for the Reading Rush, and I will see you in my next video. I just said that. Okay, I don't know my own outro. Happy reading. Don't know what this was. Bye.